Yo, this is going to be a brief video to anyone listening, but I just wanted to inform anybody to make sure you're doing what you need to be doing every day. You need to be disciplined, you need to get your tasks done, you know. You gotta read. I'm reading this book right now, The 4 Hour Work Week. It's basically about this guy who hated his job. He never really felt like the working system was made for him. He didn't want to be stuck, you know, working a 9 to 5 job. He believed that you can be more effective in 8 hours than, you know, you go to work for 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day roughly. That's an average, at least in the Western world. And you're sort of doing ineffective, you know, useless work all day. And his point is that if you are self-employed and you're able to do these tasks quicker, you're able to work less, and for a lot of things, you're able to do what you do in that 40-hour work week in easily half the time, 20 hours, 10 hours, you know. I reckon 10 hours generally, probably over the span of a week, usually what you can get done. I'm not sure who you are or what you do, but if you learn effective ways to cut down time like you're spending on tasks that you're doing, I truly believe that you could spend like at least 10 hours. I think 4 hours is for certain jobs. I think he's talking more about sales. He already had a business where he's selling supplements, and he talks about a lot of these different methods, and I've only just started reading the book, so I can't really go too in depth into it yet, but I might in the future. But pretty much he was able to cut down 95% of his clientele, the people he was selling to, and he found out that 5% of people were pretty much making up for still 80% of the sales. So he's spending all this time contacting like people, like trying to get them updated and trying to get them to keep buying his stuff. But pretty much it was just turns out to be a waste of time. He's spending like all these extra hours. He was doing these like 12, 14 hour days, like killing himself for this. And then he just had this realization, what are the possibilities that I can stop doing this? I can cut down the workload drastically. I can travel the world and do whatever the hell I want to remotely. So you can have these like mini vacations all throughout your life. That's one of the big things he talks about, like these mini vacations, like throughout your life, because you spend what 60 until you're 65 roughly. You work every day like miserably. You don't enjoy it at all. You're just doing it just to make a living, and you do that just in this hope that when you retire you can have enough money to just sit back and enjoy it. But then when you actually get to that point, you're sitting there and you're sort of like, you're not enjoying it at all. Like I know of like plenty of like people that have retired, and a lot of them they fall into a depression after they retire, because you're sort of waiting for this moment your whole life, and then you realize like you're old, you can't move like you used to, you know. You like, I'm 21 right now, you won't find a 65-year-old who can just enjoy the basic life even as easily as I can, because they're not healthy. They wake up in the morning with pains, you know. They don't wake up in the morning like energized, ready to get on to the day, to go to the gym, to play sports, you know, to travel. Like traveling, imagine traveling when you're 65. Like bloody hell, that sounds miserable. Traveling in itself is already like pretty tiring and pretty difficult even when you're young and fit. You know, it's pretty hard on you. So imagine when you're 65 years old, you got bloody back pains and you're stuck in like this cramped little chair, like unless you're bloody loaded, you know, and do first class tickets. But like most people who are working the average job till 65, they're not going to be able to do like first class tickets like everywhere and travel for like 20 years, you know. Let's just say you live to like 80, 85. It gives you 15 to 20 years after you retire to sort of enjoy your life with the couple million that you've saved and hopefully invested well, and you've got enough money to enjoy your life, and then whoop, you die at 670 because you realize that your body just gave up at that point. You know, it was waiting all that time for something that it never really got. Imagine what that does to you, you know. Imagine like saving like 5 years for like this big holiday, and then you arrive there and it's just like not what you expected at all. It's just incredibly boring, you know. You spend all your day doing things that you hate, and then thinking that you're going to enjoy these things, but in reality you don't. And I guess in a sense you do end up enjoying the journey. Like, a lot of the time I would be working, you know, real hard, like weeks, you know, waiting for the weekend, like the typical rubbish that you do. And then once you get to the weekend, you're not as happy as you thought you were. And then you sort of like look back on the week and you're like, oh, I kind of enjoyed that, to be honest. It's like we never really appreciate the moment. So this book's sort of good at like emphasizing, like, imagine you're at a point and what if you quit right now your job and you, well, let's put a different scenario that's better. Let's just say you got $100 million today and you could do whatever you want and do exactly, like, list out what exactly you would do if you just had $100 million right now. Just list it out, write down, like, I would do this, like, I want to learn this language, I want, what, like, sort of skills you would want to, like, if you had all the options in the world, and then just sort of look at it. You know, most people just look at their best option in terms of making money and making a career, but actually sit down and write down, like, what you truly wish you could do, and then your goal should be to work towards that. Like, why wouldn't it be, you know? Your goal in life, why is it only to do the best? You sort of like settle for the best earning, most enjoyable thing in your life, but why do you want to spend your life doing that, you know? Like, let's just say you want to be a chef, like, that's your dream. You can make a crap ton of money if you're truly passionate about it, and if you're truly passionate about it, you're not really working. You can spend 70 hours a week, you know, being a chef. You can become one of the best chefs in the world. You can monetize it. You can make like clips, like videos, like, you know, for TikTok, Instagram, like social media, for YouTube, cooking tutorials. Those like satisfying like TikTok videos you see, like dudes like cooking like bacon wrapped in chicken dipped in cheese. Like, it just looks fucking delicious, and it hooks you in. And if you're truly passionate about it, like, you just fucking grind all day doing that stuff and you'll make such a good living, honestly. So that's one of like the things that they go on in this book. Like, you know, just write down what you truly would want to do, and then you'll see, like, damn, like, I really would want to do that, you know, like. And then another thing you do is, so you write down what you would do if you had like $100 million, and then you think about what would happen if I took 2 years off what I was doing now and I came back to it. Like, so you took 2 years off to take that risk. Write down, like, how much it would cost you, the risks. Would you be able to come back exactly where you are 2 years from now and be in the same point and still be able to, you know, like, just say, because everyone's got that, you know, everyone's got that survival instinct in their head that society helps to enforce on them. You know, you just think about, would I be able to return to here in 2 years? Like me, for example, I'm doing a course right now and I need 2 years to finish it. So after those 2 years, I'll be in a much better opportunity. But by then, I'll be able to like take a year or two to do this exact thing, and sort of I'll be able to come back at any moment and resume if I want to. But think about, would you be willing to risk 1 or 2 years for the potential chance to change your life forever and do whatever you want? Like, you can become a bloody kayak tutor in Hawaii and you go and like help tourists kayak, you know, like, that's just a random example, but you go to any country of your choice, you know, you travel and you can have some sort of like weird, like, random job, or you can be a chef, or you could still be like the typical jobs, you know, you could still be an engineer. Lots of people want to be engineers. Like, there's plenty of people passionate about it, you know. People want to be doctors. I know people who wanted to become doctors and they became it and they love it, you know. So if you're passionate about it, do it. Even if it's like those typical 9 to 5, if you're happy and you're passionate, then do it. You should do whatever the hell you want to do, because life is too short to be sitting around doing stuff that you do not like forever, just at the hope that one day you're going to be retired and you're going to really enjoy life then, you know. You can always get back from where you started, and you can always work your ass off to make it back if you really, you know, you're never going to die. Think about the worst scenario that could possibly happen. You're not going to die. Maybe you have some fucking crazy dream, but, you know, generally 9 times out of 10 you're not going to die. You're not going to go homeless if you set yourself up correctly. But people just need to learn to take bigger risks, you know. would you rather regret your whole life, like thinking like, damn, I never really did the things that I want to do, or would you rather regret just a couple failures, you know? It's totally different. Living with regret, I feel like, is the worst thing you can live with for your whole life. It's just like one of the worst pains you can experience. That in the back of your head, just sitting there knowing like, I never did that. Like, imagine being 70 and you're like, you never did it. You never took that step because you were too scared, because in society sort of pressured that into your brain that you're not able to achieve what you want to achieve, you know? And it's just that, for me, the idea of that type of regret, it's too painful, and that's what makes me want to keep working harder, you know? Keep achieving goals. And don't let people put you down no matter what. Like, you just have to not give a fuck, like, to be honest. Like, you just need to learn to not give a fuck about what people say, because, like, who gives a shit what their opinion is, you know? How are they benefiting your life? You have to think about that. Just think about everything in simple terms. I think people tend to overcomplicate things and make it sound too difficult, but like, why do you care about what a few random people say? What do they impact your life? You know, they don't feed you, they don't give you anything, so like, just don't even care. I don't know if it's harder than just what I say, but generally that's what I've adopted. Like, I know when I was younger, like, that I understood, like, or I didn't understand, that's how I felt. But as you sort of get older, you sort of realize, like, damn, why do I need to give a shit what anybody says? You know, you just have to focus on yourself and truly enjoying life, because it's too short to, you know, be stuck, you know, doing simple, cheap habits to pass your day, to make your day feel better, you know? Just a simple few scrolls, like, just to make your sad, miserable life feel a little bit better. You need to just chase what you want to chase and achieve what you want to achieve, because ultimately it's your life and you need to take control, you know? You need to just get out there and do what you want to do. And I would definitely recommend this book, The 4-Hour Workweek. I've only read about 70 pages, but I'm already hooked. You know, it's got so many great explanations and ideologies and things that you need in terms of like getting the results that you need to in life or to achieve your goals. But yeah, those are a few things I just wanted to share. Peace out.